What's going on? Coach Paul here, and in this video I'm going to show you the banded face pull. I'm going to show you the 3 most common mistakes that I see either clients make or just people at the gym that I'm watching every single day making. I'm going to show you 3 mental cues that you can make sure that you are executing it as well as possible, and then I'm going to give you 3 modifications so that you can still get the same warm-up and same response for the body, but with just a different piece of equipment. So one of the first mistakes that I'll see people making is how they approach their lower half. And so your lower half should be athletic, but a lot of times that lower half is just gonna be kind of relaxed here. And then what people end up doing is they don't have a stable base. And so they end up finding extension in their lower back, especially if this band is a little bit heavy or some sort of equipment is too heavy for them. So what you're doing is you're ultimately leveraging your erectors and you're just creating more and more tension in that lower back area. Another mistake that I'll see people make is that they'll go here and they'll go too low. Now that's not to say that going low on a row like this is bad, but in a banded face pull, you're gonna wanna be a little bit higher with that row so that you can get a little bit higher up on your rear shoulder stabilizers. And so what you don't want to be doing is going here or any kind of to the chest motion. Make sure that you're getting it to the face, either the forehead or above the bill of the hat, and get those elbows up high. Now this one's kind of connected to the lower back mistake that people will be making, but the other thing that you can do, even if you have a staggered stance or you get a really good lower half, is I'll see people flaring that chest out. And what they're trying to do is, again, find a little bit more movement to get that band up further, but they're finding it in their rib cage and in their chest as opposed to finding it in their shoulder. It might be a mobility issue if you're pulling back and you can only get to here, but then that's something you want to work on with your breath, with your mobility of the shoulders, of the scapula. What you don't want to be doing is a combination of chest flaring, low back flaring, and then pulling it down low. And those, again, are just some of the 3 most common mistakes that I see. And so what I want to do is give you 3 mental cues that you can think about as you're going through and executing this. First one is going to be staggered stance, something that you can move forward and back into your legs. Your legs are absorbing the force, not the back. Then I want you to think exhale, get the rib cage pulled over, stacked over the pelvis. And this is really gonna be something that you want to do every single rep or maintain that brace. So your staggered stance, rib cage over pelvis, and then as you're going and doing this, you're thinking elbows high, band to the forehead. Elbows high, band to the forehead. So if you're gonna exhale, it's back in, back in, back in. If you need to create more tension, you create more tension, step back. But even with that, I'm using my lower half to stay athletic, and I'm just pulling right to that face. If it's in a little bit closer, just pulling right into your face. So those 3 mental cues hopefully are helpful. And again, making sure that you're not making those mistakes with the lower back. That exhale keeps that rib cage down, and that to the forehead is, and with the elbows high, it's gonna help make sure you're not just pulling to random places with the band. Now I'm gonna set up a few different variations that you can do to get the same trainer response. All right, so first one here is gonna be just setting up some sort of cable up high and then getting what I like would be these 2 ropes as the attachment. You can also do it with 2 different handles, but then you're basically just doing the same thing, but then pulling the knobs of those handles right outside of your head. Still all the same cues, still pulling it right to the forehead, still keeping the rib cage down, still staggering your stance. But this is something where the cable is going to stay a consistent weight the entire time, where a band is going to be a variable weight. And so the next one I'm going to show you is a video that I filmed previously of a TRX exercise, where you're basically pulling in a W and you're getting that same motion of the hands towards the face, elbows up high and out wide, and you're going to be training and warming up the same muscles going into your upper body exercise. Then for the last variation, you can set up a bench and do a chest supported face pull with dumbbells. So everything's gonna remain the same here. You've got the bench stabilizing your spine so you don't have to stagger the stance as much, but then you're just pretending that you can pull an invisible band that's now dumbbells right to your forehead. It's the same motion. It's the same motion. You're pulling to your face, It just is dependent on what equipment that you're using. A band is gonna have accommodating resistance, cable is gonna be consistent resistance, and a dumbbell is gonna be something where your grip is gonna eventually wear out, but with lighter dumbbells, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's something you gotta worry about. So try those three and comment below if those are helpful, which ones you found helpful, and any questions that you have. Again, my name is Paul, and if you wanna learn more about how I help clients with my E4Fit program, I'm more than happy to talk to you about that on a discovery call.